They say heavy is the head that wears the crown, so let's talk about it. Welcome to Under the Crown Podcast. This is Chris.
This is Carlton.
Carlton, we made this forum for black men, but we cannot talk about black men if we don't talk about our sisters.
I agree.
They've been the backbone of our community since the beginning of time. And we just see it. They've always been, they stuck with us, but man, they are really doing their thing today.
Yes,
and we are fortunate at Under the Crown to have one of those women here that are doing their thing. So let me give you a couple of fun facts about her before I introduce her. She is the owner of her own law firm, J. Paye and Associates, with offices in Atlanta and Chicago. She practices real estate, business, and entertainment law. A fun fact, a Chicago fun fact.
Lay it on us.
Okay, one of her clients is B-Lo from the legendary group Do or Die.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's been featured in legendary publications such as Jet Magazine and Forbes. I bring to you Johnetta Paye Esq. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming.
No doubt. So you practice real estate, business, and entertainment law. What made you want to focus on those particular areas of law?
I am a strong contracts person.
Okay.
And so at the end of the day, all of those things are about, because to get paid, to get money, you got to have your paperwork. You got to, have your contracts right. And that's, at the end of the day, what all three have in common.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I could dig it. I have a question. So you are in real estate law, so you understand things of that nature. With mumbles of a looming recession, how do you see it possibly affecting the real estate market?
Recessions are a good time to find deals. So I'm telling people now, they say a recession is coming, start saving your coins.
Okay.
Because that's when you're going to be able to get like the best deals, and you don't want to be like, oh, I don't have any money because we're in a recession. I can't like buy anything. So that's why I'm like, start saving your money now. So when we do get to this recession, you can get out here in the marketplace and start buying these deals that are going to be available.
Okay, so you actually believe that it is coming?
Yeah, I felt that way for a while because like everything's cyclical. It can't stay great forever.
Exactly.
So I felt there was one coming. I believe it's coming.
Because it's a bubble, just like, when we had Bush as president and then this big bubble and it pops. So we definitely got to be ready for that. But going to your business side of the law and entertainment. So say you have a client with this great idea, but they have no clue on how to get started. Like, how would you direct them?
On the entertainment side?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think you can go both ways, because I also have like people on the business side that have a great idea and they don't know how to get started. And everybody has like great ideas. And so the first thing I would say is you got to develop like an action plan. Because we can all have ideas, but a lot of times people want to sit on the idea. They're afraid to get out there and really do something with it. But I think if you have a plan and you put like dates on, okay, I'm going to get my website done for this great idea I have, or I'm going to assemble my team of people for this great idea that I have by XYZ date, then it forces you to take action. Because I think a lot of times when people have an idea, they're afraid to actually act on it.
Absolutely.
So that would probably be people who are scared to take the leap of faith. And I love how your story, how you did everything. You started out, you used to barter, for graphic designs. Hey, let's make this right here work out and everything. So you had a vision and you saw it through, and you're still doing it. And I just want to say, we want to say that we appreciate you for coming, and just congratulations, on all your endeavors that you have been doing so far.
Right.
Thank you. It's been a hustle. It's been a grind. It hasn't been like, I didn't get here overnight.
Oh, for sure.
There were some nights where, because I'm an entrepreneur myself, so there were some nights where I'm like, what is going on with my whole life? Like even when I first started my law practice, I had to move back home for a little bit. And I was like in Minnesota, traveling back to Chicago to handle client stuff, and people didn't know that. And just imagine like being a grown woman, like moving back home just to try to get your business up and going. And then once I got it to a stable place, like I moved back to Chicago. But there are sacrifices that have to be made for any dream.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to ask you too. So going back to that leap of faith, like here you are with these stellar credentials. You were working for then Senator Barack Obama, but that was in the height of the recession, and no one would hire you. And so go through your whole mindset of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do? Like, how did that even come about? Like, and then how did you go about getting to where you are now?
Yeah, so I had just passed the bar exam, and at that time, my hopes and my dreams was to work in-house for either a large firm or
Okay.
a media company. And, I sent out lots of resumes, and I just got rejection letter after rejection letter after rejection letter. And at some point, like, you can either let that defeat you or you can let it motivate you. And I chose to let it motivate me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, if nobody's going to give me a job, and a lot of my friends who had graduated law school and couldn't get jobs, they were going back to like their BAs and getting like jobs that weren't related to the law that they could leverage their bachelor's degree in. But I was like, no, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to actually try to make this law thing happen for myself. And so I talked to one of my legal mentors in Chicago, and at that time there was a young artist. His name was Solo the Pope, and he had a copyright infringement issue against Soulja Boy.
Okay.
And so I talked to my legal mentor about it, and he's like, yeah, I think you have a case here. And, if you want me to mentor you behind the scenes, I'm willing to do that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to start my own law practice.
Okay. That damn Soulja Boy always into something.
Always into something. So you really sat down and you focused and you didn't fold. And that's what we like to talk about, empowerment, and you seeing a vision through. That's what Under the Crown podcast is all about, And like I said, we commend you for this. And, just everything you're doing, like, it's so insightful, and it's a beautiful thing, I think, personally, So going back to your interning when then Senator Barack Obama was the senator, how could you describe that experience overall? How was it?
That was amazing. I think maybe too that was because they say there are things in your life that kind of align to push you to the next place. And I think that experience might have actually given me the courage to open up my own law firm, because I was interning there while I was waiting for my bar exams to come back.
Okay.
And I started in the front. Imagine coming from law school, answering the phones. And at that time,
right?
He was running for president, so we got calls from all over, every which way. And it taught me patience, and
It's
it
a
taught
virtue.
me to listen, because people were calling with all sorts of problems, and you didn't want to see insensitive or you didn't care about their issues. So I started in the front, and they saw that I had potential, and then I worked my way to the back.
But behind the scenes.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then I got to do more substantive stuff in terms of the Senate office.
Okay.
But then I also volunteered after my shift at the Senate office at the campaign office. And they saw my ability there. And they asked me if I wanted to switch from the Senate office to come to work to the campaign office, the Chicago headquarters, full time. But I felt like the Senate office had given me an opportunity, so I needed to be loyal there and not switch to go over to the campaign office. But I think just seeing a black man, and he was the first black president, and just being a part of that, accomplished something that most people said would never happen. Right. And then I was in Grant Park that night. When
Everybody was.
Yeah, and it was such a peaceful, quiet, because it was November, and Chicago there's cold, but that day
it was a warm Tuesday. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Yeah. And then when the announcement came, and then just knowing you were a part of this movement, you helped to manifest this thing. I guess that kind of just gave me inspiration to believe hey, if he can manifest this for his life, what can't we manifest for ourselves?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, to piggyback off my partner Chris, what he said, you have two offices. You have one in Chicago and one in Atlanta. What sold you on Atlanta?
I was not trying to move to Atlanta at all. Atlanta was not on my radar. And it was really a fly-by-night kind of situation.
Okay.
My lease in Chicago was ending. I had an opportunity to go down to Atlanta, and it was okay, do I stay here in Chicago, what I'm comfortable with, what I know? I was ready to live and die in Chicago. I really was not trying to leave this city.
Okay.
Because ain't got mild sauce nowhere else.
I know. Or they have Harold's Chicken in Atlanta,
ice
but
bar.
it's not the same,
ain't the same.
as Chicago.
Right.
I can see now 4 wings with a Cosmo.
They don't put the sauce on the chicken like we do up here.
That's
And the
tragic.
fries are different.
Tragic.
But so I had an opportunity to go down to Atlanta. My lease was ending, and I was like, do I want to stay in Chicago and renew my lease, or do I just take this opportunity and go down to Atlanta and try something different? And mind you, I had never spent any real time in Atlanta. I had probably been there once for like 5 hours, and it was literally to a conference and back to the airport. So I hadn't even really experienced the city, but I just took a leap of faith. I rented an apartment sight unseen, took 3 suitcases, and moved down to Atlanta.
Okay. And so you started your business with $0. How?
It's possible.
Bartering and being resourceful. And I think that's the thing for any entrepreneur or business owner. You have to be resourceful. Because I hear a lot of times with people that I work with, or just in general, people will say, oh, I can't start this business, or oh, I can't get into entertainment, or oh, I can't buy real estate because I don't have the money. But money shouldn't be like the barrier that stops you from doing something. Like, you have to really be resourceful. And that's how I was able to start a business with no money. I was resourceful. Like I said, I found a mentor to help guide me through handling client cases. I knew I needed a website. I knew I needed business cards. I needed a logo. And I asked friends who was like a graphic designer, another friend who built websites. And I was like, look, I don't have any money, but I have this vision for my life and I have this dream. And all I can give you is legal services. And so if you're willing to accept, I'll review a contract for you, or copyright something for you if you built this website for me. And that's how I was able to get started until I could actually start making money. And even the office space that I used at the time, I gave them like 10 hours of legal service a month to use an office space.
That's dope.
That's smart. That's very smart. But you also, by you taking a leap of faith, you also ran into genuine people. That's a good thing. People could, use good energy all the time, and just try to give it out. You'll get it back, So you're definitely giving us, courage to do certain things. Even with our podcast, we took a leap of faith with this, and I'm glad we're doing it, So that's dope right there.
And I think going back to what Carlton was saying, it's just how you give back. Something that, if anyone follows you on social media, you do something called Sofa Talk.
Get into that.
Where you just pretty much sit on your sofa and give people legal advice for free.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even call me. I do free 15-minute legal chats. If you've never talked to me before, you can book one by going to my website, and we can talk for 15 minutes about your legal issue. But I think a lot of that came from, I'm Liberian. I was born in West Africa.
Okay.
And my parents always taught me that it's important, because we're about like community in the African culture. And if we support each other, we all rise up. The ways that I can provide people information or value to help them in whatever goals or journeys that they're moving for themselves, that's just something that my mom and my dad taught me at a really early age. They're just like, if you give and you support other people, it comes back to you.
Those are solid values, very solid values right there,
So talk about being born in Liberia and moving here. Like, do you think your humble beginnings may be the reason why you have the drive you have now?
I definitely think so. I watched my parents when they first came to America. All they could get at the time was like minimum wage jobs. And I really watched my parents, and to this day, they still work hard. Like, my dad wakes up at 5 a.m. He works 16-hour shifts. And I just seeing all of the hard work they put into so their kids could have more opportunity than they did. And my mom, she didn't even go to high school, and just the sacrifices that she made so I could go to college, to go to law school, and start my own business. It definitely motivates me to want to do more, because I could still be in Liberia today if my parents didn't have the courage to leave their comfort zone and come to the States in hopes of giving me the opportunity I wouldn't have if I was still in Africa.
Right. So it's safe to say you credit your success to your parents.
Yeah, they laid the foundation.
Absolutely.
But I would say Chicago gave birth to the person that I am today. Chicago is where I really found myself and discovered Johnetta, but my parents laid the foundation for me to do that.
Okay. You grew up on the south side or west side?
Chicago?
Yeah.
I'm a north sider.
North
yeah.
side. Okay. All right.
What school did you go to?
DePaul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing I want to touch up on, I love the fact how you treat your clients like family. And I think that's very important when you're conducting business and you're not looking at them as just monetary gain. People who actually vibe and they actually conduct business like that is, I think, a very important thing that we lack, especially in our community. Like, you treat people how you want to be treated, but I think that's dope how you do that. So that's one thing I do want to commend you on as well, that I did see that about you and everything. So that's a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I had a conversation with a client yesterday, and she was like, Johnetta, I like that, you call me back, I can talk to you, but don't you think, like, maybe you should have your clients talk to you like assistant just to free up your time a little bit? But I really do try to do my best. Like, when clients call me, I try to call them back within a 24-hour period. Mm-hmm. We can talk about your issue. You can email me, you can text me, and, people seem to vibe with that.
Okay.
That's good.
So going back to business, like, of course, everyone uses the internet as a resource, but what's another resource that'll be available for people that are thinking about starting a business?
So part of giving back, I'm a SBA score mentor. That is in the Atlanta office. So that's one way if you're looking to start a business and you just need like free advice. They have SBA score offices all over the country, and you can definitely go there. They have some amazing mentors that work there. They can help you with your business plan. If you need somebody just to help you walk through the idea that you have and you're not so sure about it, or sometimes you have an idea but you don't know how to make money from your idea, like they have some amazing mentors there that can do that. So that's one thing. I also encourage people to read. There's a lot of like books out there that can help you get like game plans for your business. And then also podcasts. Like, I listen to like a ton of podcasts, and you'd be surprised at how much resourceful information you can get from listening to a podcast while you're at work, or you can even do YouTube. So there's a lot of like free different ways to get information to start, in real estate, to start in entertainment, or to start your business.
And so you're going to add Under the Crown to that podcast list that you listen to as well. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell your friends as well, right?
Yes, I'm going to tell my friends. That's everybody, great. You guys are going to get a shout out.
All right. Thank you.
So going back to entertainment too, that can be a crowded field. Everyone feels like they have a talent. But what do you say to someone that's just on the brink of just giving up?
In the entertainment business?
Yeah.
The entertainment game is so unique right now.
I bet.
Honestly, and this is just for me being in the industry for a while now, and if you're looking to get signed to a major label, really and truly, people aren't trying to break anybody in anymore. They want to see that you are a proven artist with a fan base and you out here like making money, and then they're willing to like sign you. Right. So if you're not at that level, like, I'm not one to say nothing is impossible, but it's gonna be a challenge. If you don't have like a strong fan base already and you're not already out here popping. So I would say you can be in the industry, but you might just want to explore other ways to monetize your talent. A label deal is not like the be-all, end-all. There's other ways to be a musician and make money.
And with technology, do you even need a label?
That's a good question.
You definitely got to have the hustle, though.
You got to have the hustle, whether you're independent or on a label. But the label provides marketing support that you might not be able to get like on your own. But, Cardi B started her stuff on social media, and look at where she is now.
Yeah. Now, speaking of social media, that has impacted everything pretty much. Has it helped your business overall?
Yeah, social media has helped me a lot. I get like people call me and be like, hey, I saw you on Instagram, or hey, I saw a post you did on LinkedIn, or I read a blog article that you did, and so I'm interested in getting to know more about you and working with you. So it does help me to get business.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, a lot of people do that. And in reference to the entertainers, a lot of labels do look at how many followers you have. Can you generate this? What type of audience do you cater to and everything like that? So you are right. I think it does take hustle, like Chris said, but also you have to have your city, not your block, but your city locked down, and they want to look at that. But I think me personally, I don't think you need a label. I mean, I think it can be done, like you all just touched up on with Cardi B, but this is my personal opinion. I think so,
Yeah, and I think as an artist, which I see a lot, like you need to treat yourself as a business. I think a lot of people are just more in it for like the craft and I'm a singer, I'm a podcaster, I'm a, actress, actor, whatever. But you have to treat your art as a business because that's what it is at the end of the day.
Because it is the music business or art business, absolutely.
Or the content creation
and you
business.
should capitalize
Content.
off your craft,
Yeah.
absolutely. And,
Content, yep.
and so going back, we mentioned that your business, entertainment, and real estate law.
Real estate.
Do all those things tie in together?
I think they do. At the end of the day, I did have dreams of being the next Whoopi Goldberg. I told my parents I wanted to be an actress. But coming up in an African home, they're like, no, you got to do something a little bit more practical.
Okay.
So it was like doctor, lawyer. I was like, okay, no, I don't think this doctor thing's going to work out for me. But I do like to read, right? And I like to debate issues. So maybe I can use my talent as a lawyer to help people in the arts. And that's really how this whole me becoming a lawyer thing got started or inspired or came to being. But at the end of the day, it's about deals. And that's something I've always been passionate about. And real estate, entertainment, business, they're all about deals at the end of the day and getting people paid off of structuring a deal. And so that's really what I do.
Yeah, because if the numbers don't work, the deal's going to fall apart. Most definitely, especially in real estate. Most definitely. Now, considering Chicago is one of the segregated cities, I'm just being honest, and this whole real estate or this recession coming, what areas do you see are going to be impacted for the better as far as like going forward in the city, you think, on the south and the west side, even the north side?
The whole city, because every time I come back, I see new development on the west side, I see new stuff on the south side, I see new stuff on the north side. I'm like, is there any more land in Chicago to build stuff? And then I also wonder too about all the buildings in Chicago because a lot of people are leaving. I'm like, why are they building
Same
all
thing
this
I
stuff?
say. I mean, we were in the DMV for 3 years, and I'm like, all right, but they're just throwing up these cookie cutter houses. All due respect, I was in Northern Virginia, and it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but they were just tearing down all this old land. Well, not tearing down, but just building up on this old land, just throwing up these makeshift houses. I'm like, all right, I like something with brick, something with foundation. So we came back, and we bought over in the south side, in Inglewood to be exact. And I see it coming up slowly but surely. I'm willing to just, stay down until it comes up,
Yeah, but to answer your question, I mean, a deal's a deal. It doesn't matter if it's on the north side of the city, the south side of the city, the west side of the city. People are always going to need places to live. And so that's something to be mindful of, whether you're looking to buy investment property, buy a home that one day may be investment property, or a home that you want to pass down to your kids because it has equity in it. So I would say don't be afraid to invest, but when you're buying a home for equity purposes or you're investing, definitely be mindful of, you got to pay attention to the numbers because that's what makes a deal a deal. So if the numbers don't make sense, don't do it. And then two, real estate is about the details. So you really have to pay attention to the details. So whether that's, Chicago, they have regulations now on Airbnb investing, so that makes it a little bit different. But you just have to pay attention to the details, whether you're let's say, want to become a real estate investor and you're looking to buy and flip something, the details you put in the home to sell it to a potential homeowner that's going to make a difference. And so you just definitely want to pay attention to that. So it's about the numbers and the details, real estate.
Yeah, that's very key, the details. Very key.
So getting back to you and your story, has there ever been a time when you were just I'm done with this?
Being a lawyer?
Yeah.
Yes, there have been moments.
Talk about that.
Because I enjoy helping people with their problems, and I don't want to seem like I'm ungrateful in that way. And this is probably
Hold on. you're human though. You know what I mean? So things happen.
This is true. So this is probably like the first time on public record I'm saying,
World premiere.
sometimes I get burned out because like my job day in, day out is solving people's problems like every day. And when you can find a solution to somebody's problem, it's a rewarding thing. But like you said, I'm human and I have issues in my own life and problems that I need to resolve. And so sometimes like solving issues for people takes a lot out of you. And we do get burned out, and it's kind of like, okay, well, do I want to do this forever? And when I feel like that, then, you know, I'm able to solve something for a client. I'm like, okay, maybe I still have a little bit more in me to keep going, to keep doing this.
Right. So when you do feel burned out and everything settles down, what do you do for relaxation? What does Johnetta do?
Well, like travel. So I'm about to be gone for 2 weeks to South Africa so I can re-energize and come back, you know, more excited to solve my clients' problems and stuff like that. So that's one thing I like to do. I'm a lightweight foodie. I do enjoy a good meal.
Mm-hmm.
I like to cook and I like to read. And I like to be like outside and just like inhale the fresh air.
Yeah.
When you're back home, what you like to eat?
Back in like home in Minnesota, like African food, or just home like.
Well, African food, and when you're in Chicago.
So Chicago, I definitely love me some Harold's, and I do love deep dish pizza. But I'm a Giordano's girl. I don't like the corn. No, I don't like the cornbread crust. That's
okay. I like
thing.
Lumanati's and Giordano's, but I think Phil's got the best pizza on 35th.
I don't think I've ever had
Oh,
Phil's.
Yeah,
Bridgeport.
35th and Aberdeen.
Bridgeport Diamond, in my eyes, real good.
Probably won't go over there when it's too dark, but it's good pizza.
Okay, I have to put
We don't have the
Phil's on
right
my
skin
list.
tone, but yeah.
Okay,
No,
I'll have to
well,
put
actually,
Phil's.
it changed over there. It's more artsy over there in that area. Like, it's totally different. I think the old Montgomery Ward, not plant, but the whatever the company or now over there, the old place is all like lofty now, like art studios and things of that nature. So, yeah, it died down a little bit over there, but yeah.
But Phil's is still there though.
Oh
Yeah.
Mom and pop place, real
So
good.
if you weren't practicing law, what do you think you'll be doing?
If I wasn't a lawyer, I think I'd be a psychologist. But it's still the same thing as
Yeah, you're
solving
still helping people.
Yeah, see.
So that's just, I mean, and then, like I said, you do these sofa talks. You give out free legal advice. Like, we're such a capitalistic society, but yet you're like, hey, ask me anything. In the privacy of your own home, you can be, you know, watching TV, eating a meal or whatever.
Going out on a date, like
Exactly.
doing a lot.
But you said, you know what, I'd rather be here with you, so ask me anything. And I think that's just great. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no.
Speaks volumes about you as a person, you know.
Right.
That's why you keep, getting the blessings that you get.
And I
think.
wouldn't be here if somebody didn't help me out. Like, because I didn't have to have somebody, like, agree to barter to give me a website, or a legal mentor agree to, like, help me with my client work as I got up to speed. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people, like, extending favor and grace to me.
Yeah. So we talked about those times you're feeling burnt out and everything. When was a time when you said, damn, I made it?
Yeah.
Then that's so weird because, like, when people meet me, like, I just think I'm a regular, like, everyday girl. Like, I don't really like looking at myself as like a superstar or anything like that. But like when people meet me, they're like, "Oh, you were in Forbes magazine," and a lot of people would think, "Oh, like they made it when they got to those things." Mm-hmm. But I think because I'm so driven, there's always that next goal. There's always that next thing. So I don't know that I ever look up and say, I made it. Like, I don't know that I've had that moment yet.
Okay. So with that said, what's next for Johnetta Paye?
There are some businesses that I want to start.
Okay.
So that's what's next. I think these are going to be what I say are my legacy businesses.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about like really putting time to create and manifest these businesses in 2020.
So can you give us a little couple of details about these businesses,
or
are they just under wraps?
Yeah.
Well, I can give you one. So one of the ones I'm doing is a convenience store in Liberia with my mom.
Okay.
And so I want to grow it to like a chain of convenience stores in Africa. So that's one of the things but we're going to start with one first. And then, like I said, I want to grow it into several chains. So that's one of the things I'm working on for 2020.
Okay, cool. Okay, I like that. So you have vision. Yeah, it'll come true.
You gotta have vision, but more than that, like I started off saying, you gotta take action.
Yeah, and write things down.
What they say, because faith without works is dead.
Amen.
Absolutely. So when it's all said and done for Johnetta Paye, what mark do you want to leave?
You know, I struggle with that every day because I'm getting at a point in my life where most people start, and I'm not going to say my age, but if you know me, you know how old I am, because I look like I'm in my 20s, but I'm not. I'm getting to that point in life where I am starting to think more about, like, my legacy and what I want it to be. And I know, like, my mom, like, her legacy was her children and her grandkids. And whatever it is that we accomplished in this life, she wanted to be able to say, you know what, I sowed into these individuals so that they could be a blessing to this world. And that's forever going to be my legacy. And I don't have any kids. Hopefully I will one day. I'm not married, so I can't even say, like, my marriage is a legacy. So I think for me, it's just, like, how many lives I'm able to impact and help while I'm here. I feel like that's probably what my legacy is.
That's strong in itself right there, helping people, you know. So you said your mother has children and grandchildren. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so I have 2 sisters, 1 brother,
okay,
and I've got 10 nieces and nephews.
See,
oh, shit, you got all the kids
right
you need.
Right, you good, right?
And know what's great about them? You can give them back.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody tells you there's something special about having your own.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, until they
Mine
feet
get on my
grow.
nerve. I get on my nerve.
No, it is a good thing. And then that's, I think, having children is the ultimate legacy, because they carry your name, they carry everything you taught them. So in actuality, you live forever when you do have kids. So you need to be working on that instead of trying to be helping other people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. While I'm on the sofa
And you need somebody to work that register at that convenience store.
I know.
Yeah.
While I'm on the sofa giving legal advice, I could be out here dating, trying to find my husband.
Okay, well do
See,
that. Well, here's my advice: do that once a week, and go out on a Friday and find your husband.
Yeah, take time out for yourself and enjoy life, for real.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, are there any words of wisdom you have for anybody who wants to venture into real estate law or business law or even entertainment law?
Yeah, so for any aspiring lawyers out there, I would say law school is hard. The bar exam is hard. And so you have to make sure that you're doing this because you're passionate about it, and not because mommy and daddy told you to go to law school, or not because you think you're going to make all this money, or not because of the perceived status that comes with being a lawyer. Like, your heart really has to be into this thing, because a law school will, like, I went in one person, I came out of the whole thing a different person. It will try you to the core. Yeah. There's a lot of long nights, like, you're under a lot of pressure.
Paperwork.
Yes, and so you really have to do it because your heart is in it. And then for any aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners out there, or even, like, because like I said, being an artist is having a business. I would definitely say, I thought law school was hard, but starting a business, oh my God, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in life, and I would not wish it on my worst enemy, because there's, like, a lot of emotional highs and emotional lows, and it never, like, stops. You're constantly going up and down this roller coaster. And so I would say, if you want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner, you really have to have, I would say, get you support. Get you people, and it doesn't have to be your family. It can be friends. It can be strangers. But get you people who support you, because a vision doesn't work without a plan, action, and support.
There is no I in team as well. That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
Carl, you got anything else?
I just want to say, do your thing, sister. Thank you for coming. Hey, salute to you. I promise you, for real. Like, I'm just happy you here, and you just giving us, you know, the story, and it's dope.
I second that. This talk reminds me of this quote I heard the other day. I forgot who said it, but he was like, yesterday was history. tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. And like I said, faith without works is dead. Thank you for giving us this inspiration, and I hope that anybody hearing this just get out and hustle, follow your dreams, and unwrap your gift.
Oh, and one more thing. Can you please let the viewers know your handles as far as Instagram?
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to follow me, and that's a good place to get free legal advice, like the King said on the podcast. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JPayeESQ, or you can hashtag get paid and my content will come up. And then if you want to talk to me, like I said, I do free 15-minute legal chats if you've never talked to me before. And you can book a free legal chat by going to my website, which is jpaye.com. So jpaye.com, and you can book a legal chat to talk to me about your legal issue, or even if you just don't know where to get started in business, we can chat that out too.
And it is for 15 minutes, right?
It is for 15
After 15 minutes, it's going up. You got to pay.
All right. Well, y'all get paid, just like she said. And thank you again for having this talk with us.
And
when you start
inviting
these
me.
legacy businesses, please come by and tell us all about
Please
it.
do.
I would definitely will.
Please do.
I
All right,
definitely
y'all.
will.
This is Under the Crown Podcast.
Peace.
All right.